Roll call, Diane.
Mr. Douglas?
Here.
Mr. Barber?
Here.
Mr. Bruno?
Here.
Mr. Irwin?
Here.
Mr. McDonald?
Here.
Our highway superintendent, Mike Farrow. Our zoning officer, Mr. Winna. Our attorney, Mr. Favreau. And our guests.
Okay, I'll be tagging along soon. Okay, Diane Miller, our town clerk. Okay, everyone, welcome to the meeting. We're going to get to number 4, motion discussion. A motion and a second to accept all department heads, water, sewer, Belcor, highway, town clerk, dock control, youth department, code zoning, supervisor report, court, website, JCO, and banking report.
I'll make it. I'll second it.
Any discussion?
Thank you for emailing them to me.
You're welcome.
All in favor?
Aye.
Dog report next month. If we don't find a dog control officer, I will jot down the 13 calls I've had so far. Obviously, I'm not the dog control officer, but just doing what has to be done.
I can make that motion.
No. Can't hold 2 positions, but I can do it for nothing. But I won't do it for nothing long because that job is nothing.
We're gonna miss Dave.
Yeah, he was good DCO for sure.
Okay, so that being said.
Anybody know anybody that's good with dogs that would like a job?
And not 24 hours, you don't have to do it 24 hours a day.
So.
You make yourself crazy.
They will call you 24 hours a day though. Because last night was up to 4:15 again last night. And I was just out 20 minutes before I got here today, so. But anyways, we're moving on. Number 5. I need a motion to approve the minutes of the regular board meeting of May 24th, 2021.
So,
Second.
We'll give it to Mel and Jim Douglas. Second. Any discussion? That's good, like always, Diane, thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, number 6, community inputs. Right.
Yeah.
Helen, would you like to speak?
Yeah, I'm Helen Nerska. I'm director at the Clinton County Historical Association, and we're having cemetery tours this Saturday. The old Peru Village Cemetery, the God's Acre, St. Augustine's, and then we're moving on to the Quaker Cemetery in the afternoon. So we've been, I think it was in the Plattsburgh Press, and I just thought everybody should know about that and be proud of our cemeteries because they're very well kept, and we're pleased to be able to talk with them, talk to people about them.
that was $15 a head and lunch
15,
provided?
and that's just for lunch, and any money left over goes to a cemetery association that can accept that. Yep. So, and Ron Allen knows about it. He's not able to join us, but he knows that we're doing this and has been a help too. So, yeah. John actually is doing it. John and Gina Ryan are doing one of them, St. Augustine's.
What's the time again?
Well, we're starting at St. Augustine's at 9:30 in the morning. And we're gonna hit 3 in the morning and 1 in the Quaker in the afternoon. It's Juneteenth celebration, and so we'll be talking about that at the Quaker Cemetery.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's God Acre, St. Augustine's, and what was the third one in Peru?
I'm sorry?
The old one behind the TD Bank.
The old God Acre, St. Augustine's, and then what was the third one here, besides the Quaker one?
The old village cemetery.
Old Village, thank
Yeah.
you.
Thank you. Okay, Brad, you're on the list. Sewer project update and then the.
Yeah, I was just filling out the list, we can talk that. We can do it when you're ready on your agenda. I was just, thought I had to sign in. So.
Okay. Well, you're on the bottom
I
side.
don't, yeah.
Courtney will not be here tonight, actually. Courtney's not feeling the greatest, so he's staying home. Okay, moving along. Any other community input at all before we move along? Okay. Number 7, discussion. New York State extends COVID-19 water shutoff moratorium. this is this extension of it until December 31st of 2021. It's not that we were gonna do it anyways, but this is a moratorium saying that we weren't gonna anyways, but we can't, no matter what. It goes, re-levies on their taxes, just like it does any year for us anyways. So if you don't pay your water bill, it goes on your taxes, so that's will be what we would do.
No, but not for 2022.
Not for 2022.
No, they won't go until July 1, I believe. Letters go out by November 1 to all the water sewer, and then it's on hold. Anybody that doesn't pay their water bill, which would be re-levied in the January 22 taxes, not happening. It can't be done until that summer.
Right. Okay.
I'm gonna try and watch the webinar Thursday. I don't know, unless court comes up, if you watch it.
Yeah, because there's the webinar, and then I got the email, and
Okay.
we were just all sharing everything.
All right, perfect. Thanks.
And that's only a discussion. We have paper on it, and there's a webinar this week. If anyone wants to watch it. Any more discussion on that? If not, we're gonna move on. Number 8, resolution discussion, acceptance of the Southside Sewer EPG report agreement. I need a motion and a second for the resolution on that.
Make the motion.
Craig made the motion.
Second.
Jim Douglas. Diane Miller.
A resolution accepting the AES Northeast PLLC dated June 4, 2021 for the preliminary engineering report for the DEC ESC engineering planning grant for the town of Peru's Southside Sewer District. Whereas the town board is receiving an agreement dated June 4, 2021 from AES Northeast PLLC for preliminary planning report for the DEC ESC engineering planning grant application for the purpose of town qualification for project 4980 Southside Sewer District through the 2021 CFA process. Now therefore be it resolved that the town of Peru accepts the agreement of AES Northeast PLLC at lump sum of for services provided in accordance with the town of Peru's financial policies not to exceed $24,800 and directs the town of Peru supervisor Brady McDonald to sign this agreement. Be it resolved that this resolution shall take effect immediately. Mr. Barber?
Yes.
Mr. Bruno?
Yes.
Mr. Douglas?
Yes.
Mr. Irwin?
Yes.
Mr. McDonald?
Yes.
Could you summarize that, just so the general public has an idea?
Sure. Essentially Southside, which is Bear Swamp Road area, I believe, correct? So we put in a grant for the state to study that sewer collection system and the effects of the expansions down there and how that's going to affect the treatment plant and upgrades that may or may not be needed as a result of that. So the grant is going to pay for that engineering study that then opens the door for potential more funding for the town. That will pay for that. It's a $30,000 grant where in total, and there's a small match for the town, but that can be done through force account work, which we will help the town track and make sure we maximize it as much as possible.
There's just so much conversation about grants coming and going, it gets confusing for a lot of people, I'm sure.
Yeah. So this grant, I believe, was from the 2020 process that got suspended last year. The 2021 grants are due in about 3 weeks or so, 3-4 weeks. So this is the state trying to catch up on previous grants, and there was, I believe, roughly 19 million for the whole state, and Peru it was a very competitive field, and Peru was awarded out of that program.
This is the
Thanks, Brad.
fourth one that we've gotten, I think, right?
Excuse me?
Isn't this the fourth one we've gotten?
At least, yeah, that I can recall. Yeah.
Thanks, Brad. Number 9. I need a motion and a second for a resolution on this one, and then Brad, if you, Tim has discussion on this one on top of this one, is this one more discussion on?
From this paper, you mean?
Yeah.
Just that this is what last time Greg Swart was here, he discussed all of this.
Yep,
And it's broken down on the last page of the contract.
yep.
So he said if you guys feel comfortable with signing it tonight, otherwise we can wait until 2 weeks from now when Greg will be back. He said Brad is aware of everything that's on it. So either Brad could answer questions or we could wait and they could, we could do it next meeting.
So do you guys want to do a resolution tonight on this, or do we want to ask Brad questions tonight? Or what are you guys thinking? It's the amendment for $84,849.50. That we have discussions on the reason why and everything that we're running into, and it won't be the last one, it doesn't seem like at all.
Not gonna change anything if we wait.
Yeah, this was all stuff that Greg
Yep,
explained to us.
went over.
Where it's all good to go.
Yep.
I'll make the motion.
Okay, so Rick made the motion,
I'll second.
Mel seconds. Resolution, Diane.
A resolution approving the AES amendment number 4, RD number 3 to owner engineer agreement project 4671 for sewer truck line upgrade dated June 1, 2021, and authorizing the supervisor to execute the same. Whereas the town board has the AES amendment number 4, RD number 3 to owner engineer agreement 4671 for sewer trunk line upgrade project dated June 1, 2021, and related items before. Therefore, be it resolved, said proposed amendment to the owner engineer agreement is approved for modification to services and modification of payment to the engineer, and the town supervisor is authorized to execute said agreement. And be it resolved that this resolution shall take effect immediately. Mr. Barber?
Yes.
Mr. Bruno?
Yes,
Mr. Douglas?
Yes.
Mr. Irwin?
Yes.
Mr. McDonald?
Yes. Okay. Number 10. Resolution discussion, acceptance of DCO Dave Drollette resignation letter. Need a motion and a second to accept that letter.
Make the motion.
Tim Douglas,
I'll second it.
Greg Bruno second. Resolution, Diane.
A resolution accepting the resignation of David Drollette from the town approved dog control officer position effective June 15th, 2021. Whereas David Drollette has recommended that the town board accepts his resignation offered May 26th, 2021. Therefore, be it resolved, the town board sadly agrees with the recommendation of David Drollette to accept his resignation and thanks him for his unwavering dedication and past service to the town of Peru. His resignation will be effective June 15th, 2021, and be it resolved that this resolution shall take effect immediately.
Roll call.
Mr.
Yes.
Mr. Bruno?
Yes,
Mr. Douglas?
Yes.
Mr. Irwin?
Yes.
And Mr. McDonald?
Yes. And as we talk about that, another dog's running on Grand Hollow Road, so after that year, that's where we have a no collar and all hazards. So we need to find a dog control officer. And we need to find one like tomorrow.
And as soon as we find it, I had a message when I got here tonight from Department of Ags, and they need to be trained to where they hire.
Well, I'm not trained, so you
Yeah.
can't.
We know.
No, they just.
So I shouldn't be doing it.
They must have,
That's what I'm trying to
they
get.
said that they called Department of Agriculture, and the woman was very, very nice, and I'll call her tomorrow. He had indicated that there was someone that was gonna be doing it, that they were hiring, but I will call this very nice woman, Janet, tomorrow morning and tell her that no, but we will definitely do all the protocols that we have to do according to the Department of Ag.
I went through the grapevine that they were going to have somebody in the county doing this.
What I got a call from is the assistant DA, it just came up here, Danny Wiley's assistant DA. She's trying to get together, she called me the day before we met down in the park. She called me and said that she's trying to organize basically each town to put funds into this one account Just like if we were paying Dave for, probably not that much, the 13,000, but where we were at. But she's trying to get each town to sign up for it. There's 6 towns right now on board already. She's already talked to the sheriff department about hiring a person just for that. I said, obviously, we would be all for that. And I answered for you guys, so.
For the whole county, one person?
It's a lot of territory.
How can one person cover the
Well,
county?
maybe more than 2, maybe more than 1. But just saying that's what they're looking at. Obviously, I need someone that's gonna.
You're gonna have to have more than one anyway, I
So
mean, you got vacations.
Yeah, right. So you volunteering?
See my hand go up.
Grand Hall Road after we get done here.
Are we advertising for the DCO?
We need to. We definitely need to. I've asked tons of people. I've asked other towns, maybe this year, someone that's doing another town.
Well, if we
Obviously,
need to,
nobody wants it.
should
No one
we
wants
make
this
a-
job right now. So
Should we make a motion to advertise?
we're gonna at the end, absolutely.
Okay.
Yep. So
We'll
we'll
do
do.
it now.
And there's no towns that have a dog control officer that is willing to do some kind of work until we get somebody.
No, my phone's not ringing back. No. No, I've called.
Over the last 3-4 years, you've seen the fact how much Dave covers compared to other towns.
Well, the thing is, you can call another town. I called the city of Plattsburgh 3 days in a row. I called town of Plattsburgh, a couple other times at Heinz Electric, and you might get a call 2 days later. Well, the doc's not around then.
A lot of the towns, it's not a full-time position, so somebody's working, they're not available.
That's the problem. You get somebody like Dave, everyone expects you to go like that.
Too much now.
Yeah.
He was
Like
good.
I said,
Yeah.
my
Yeah,
13
great
calls, I've
guy.
been out.
Burned him out.
My 13 calls, I've been out 7 times to 2, 3, 4 o'clock. Last time 4:15 in the morning. So, and then before here, and then after
Did you catch
here
it?
somewhere else. No, that's a problem. It's almost impossible to catch a dog that's running loose because it's like, where are they? Especially when it's nighttime, they're barking, but then they're somewhere else, next street.
Dave knew the hiding spots.
But Dave knows the owners most of them too, so I don't know that. But we will make it work, and if not, you guys are gonna get a call tonight.
I asked him if he had a box full of index cards so that he could share.
Okay, so that's accepted. We moved on. I talked to Dave a couple times. I've talked to Dave in over an hour at his house last week, just to see if we can convince him at all not to do this. But you know what? Hey, 78 years old, and you know what? He's got to enjoy his life.
He feels better.
He does. He feels a lot better. Just talking to him for over an hour, you could tell. Yeah. I don't blame him.
No.
He did say if you got in a pinch that you could call him, but he doesn't want to be back on the payroll.
And you didn't give a phone number?
I got his phone number. I got his phone number. I'm still feeding him.
Sounds like John Ryan's jaws is open.
I tried to get it. No, I've lost his number, actually.
He
So
doesn't want
anyways,
it.
number 11.
I asked him and he said he didn't want to.
Oh, yeah, you really want to do that for I don't forget another
I'm
minute.
actually.
So I do need a motion to advertise for that position, obviously.
Not for storage, just.
No.
I'll make a motion to advertise for
Now it's
DCO.
her fault now.
It's my fault, I wrote it
So
down.
Craig made the motion.
Also,
Second, Jim Douglas. All in favor? Aye. Do we want to talk salary right now, or how we're going to advertise it, or we want to talk later? I mean, we know what Dave was getting paid. And
I don't remember, 9,500 was it?
no,
No,
13,000.
13 something, but to get somebody that's gonna do the job.
You gotta pay.
And you've got to have a,
I'm sorry?
what's the probation period? So
Yeah.
you have a way out.
The 90 days.
Right.
90
It
days
doesn't work.
probation.
Right, I mean, yes. But,
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Start off with that, or do you want to start off $1,000 less and say after 90 days we will bump you up if it's working out?
I would
That sounds great.
kind of slap
You know what I'm
the face
saying?
of Dave otherwise.
yeah,
So-
that's true.
Well, Dave was there a long time, and they got raises,
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
so 12,000 is fine.
So just do 12, and after 90-day probation period, if it's working, hopefully it does, we will bump. I mean, like I said, I've told people that money, and they're like, we won't do that for even if that doubled. And I'm gonna tell you, not a fun job. I like this job, I like real estate, and I like Heinz Electric, and I don't like doctor's office. There's not much reward with that, I can tell you that. Okay, moving on. Number 11. Did everyone say okay with this? Okay.
Yeah, we did.
That was my.
It's okay, no problem. Number 11, resolution discussion hiring a permanent code officer, Christine Crawford.
I make a motion.
Secretary, what did I say?
Just
Also,
code
You said to
officer.
replace Bob, which I'm all for.
Second.
I'll second.
Craig made a motion, no seconds. Resolution.
A resolution authorizing the permanent hiring of Christine Crawford as part-time secretary to the Codes and Zoning Office. Whereas the town board has agreed that a new permanent part-time secretary is necessary for the effective operation of the Peru Codes and Zoning Department following the recommendation of the town codes and zoning officer, Block of Winnet, be it resolved that Christine Crawford be hired as a permanent part-time secretary for the town of Peru Codes and Zoning Office at an hourly rate of pay to be $16.64 with a start date of May 15, 2021, and be it resolved that this resolution shall take effect immediately.
Resolution.
Oh, Mr. Barber.
Yes.
Looks like we got each other tonight, Brent. Mr. Bruno.
Yes.
Mr. Douglas.
Yes.
Mr. Irwin.
Yes.
And Mr. McDonald.
Yes.
Randy, can I comment just that, I know we advertised and, Pam, you want to disclose the high number of applications we received?
Big whopping 0. Not a call, not a email.
And that's like that everywhere.
Yep,
Nobody,
I just thought that was,
yep, nobody wants to work.
But Christine's working out well.
yeah.
Anything else, Bob?
No, that's it, thank you.
Good, thank you. Okay, moving on. Number 12, discussion, youth activity update.
Softball's going, baseball's going, T-ball was officially started we canceled tonight with the forecast and whatnot. First game should be Thursday. It's a little scary because lack of practice there, but we have T-ball.
Awesome.
It went well. We had 55 kids show up, I believe, last
That's
week.
really good.
So there's,
Yeah,
I would
that's
say
awesome.
5 different colors and basic stuff. If don't pick up the bat without a helmet on, but fundamentals, but it's fun. It's fun.
That's a good number
Yeah.
for T-ball.
What are we doing with softball and baseball teams?
Softball, we have 3. Baseball,
4, 2 on the Pee Wee level and 2 on the grasshopper level. They start games around the 26th, so they've been practicing 1 or 2 days a week.
at this point with kids.
So it's been going well.
There's just 3 girls though, although, I think there's 2 on grasshopper.
Yes.
But decent numbers.
Awesome.
The other activities, the tennis and volleyball, and all that, is that something that you guys organize, or is that something Mr. Flynn will
Those are part of our summer activities. So we do summer activities.
Right.
We do arts and crafts, basketball, soccer.
Right, but
Tennis.
you only do 4 days worth of each of them.
Yes.
How come such a short amount of time?
That I'm not sure about, but I know
It's a long summer to have just a short, volleyball 4 days.
Right.
And we know we put a nice unit out there, and only got a
Right.
4-day event, seems kind of.
It's almost like an intro into it.
Yeah, I don't know off the top of my head why it's only 4 days. But I know it's been like that for a while because my son did soccer several years
Right,
ago.
I see all of them, tennis,
4 days,
volleyball,
so,
arts and crafts.
I know it comes down to rec assistance and,
help.
providing the instruction to the kids too and keeping it safe, so.
You guys have the same problem trying to get help too?
Crazy.
Yeah.
Nobody else sure.
No one does. Seriously, it's a sad state.
Well, if you have any dogs running around over there, call Randy.
Hey,
Change my number.
You've got a meeting next week. At some point, you're gonna be looking at somebody to re-chair, replace Greg.
We don't have a meeting on the books yet,
Okay.
but yes.
So at some point, we need to get those names submitted,
Mhm.
and get those sent through whenever you get organized.
Sure. Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for the update.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming.
And we sent a letter to her,
What What's that?
Resignation, because I wasn't here the last meeting.
We are sending a letter, yeah, I gotta sign it. Yep. Okay. Number 13, summer concerts, relocation to Heyworth Mason Park. As you all, everyone knows here, obviously with the construction and the taking over of Heyworth Park, we had to make a split second thinking 2 weeks ago. This was something that we were talking about we were gonna do a year from now down at Heyworth Park. Obviously it's something that we were looking vision down there, awesome idea. We didn't think it was gonna happen this fast because the construction is kind of where we need to be for the summer. So 3 weeks ago we got into this predicament and I called 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different construction people. Everyone's swamped, everyone's busy, more work than they know what to do with. Rick happened to know somebody, got right down there. We got this stage part done. It's only not a roof for this year, nothing for sides this year, just to have it the way it is. So that's that. Pam, you want to say a little more about the summer concerts? I mean, I think it's going to be an absolute great, wonderful idea down there. The parking, we're going to work through the kinks.
Did you talk to Courtney about the power?
I talked to Courtney today about the tower. Yes, he's going to do that pole that he was talking about.
Did he get a hold of NYSEG or are we putting the pole?
He's talking to Northland Utilities about trying to put it. Nice they won't put a pole. Yeah, they have a private because it's private property.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I will talk to Jamie Atkinson or Donnie Shea. I will tomorrow. But Courtney said that nice they won't set a pole down there on private property. Yep.
Everybody's well aware that there's gonna be some issues as we, start with these vendors. There's gonna be, there's some kinks there they're gonna have to be worked out.
Absolutely. Me and Rick was down there again yesterday. We were down there Friday. We went to Woolsboro, was it? Woolsboro. Looked at some other stuff. Came back, met with the 2 ladies yesterday again. Was it yesterday? My days are numbered with these times. And we met them yesterday, and we have a pretty good plan. Obviously, we're gonna have kinks, but we have a flow of the vendors going out one side. We have all the people coming in for the concert one side. We're going to be down there that morning, obviously, but the vendors are from 2 to 6. The food trucks, there's 2 food trucks as of right now, and they probably stay a little bit longer because I want to get care of for the summer concert starting, I would think, but that's up to them. But there's going to be 21 or 22 vendors, 23 now. And 2 food trucks. But we gave them the whole left side of the big poplar trees, or whatever they are down there. We gave them the whole left side to kind of wrap around. That leaves, there's over 4 acres down there. There's enough room. We want to make sure the flow of the traffic going out, and we have them going out along the trail, out that, having the people coming from the concert on the road coming in. But hey, there's going to be kinks, and you know what? You work things out. There ain't much of a choice. We don't have much of a choice. And it's only 3 weekends that the summer concert and the vendors are there. The whole year is 3 weekends. Summer concerts are for 10 weeks, Pam, or 9? 9 weeks. So 9 weeks, and there's only 3 of the 9 that the vendors are there because they're only there once a month at the end of the month.
If this works, which we kind of think it will, what we'd like to do, if any of us are going to be at the concert, where the hiking trail starts over next to the stage, if we can get the cars to park on the lawn, there's a section of lawn over there where the trail comes in one side and goes along the lawn this way, along the parking lot. If we can get those cars that are coming in for the concert to start parking right there, side by side, and it's a spot that we'll talk to Mike about maybe paving later, if that's at all possible. It would probably give us at least a dozen to 15 more parking lots down there, spots, along with what we've already got. I don't think it's going to be an issue. I really don't.
And I think down the road, people that are able to park in Grand Union parking lot, walk around.
Yeah.
But we counted yesterday, between where and we're gonna have the vendors park where their stuff is, along, way on the left side, along the river, more or less, or the stream. We're gonna have them park right where their stuff is, they unload, their table's there, they unload, their table's there. That way, all of their vehicles are away from where the concert people would be coming in, and they will flow out the other way too.
Stay right on the river.
The other thing we thought of, and I think it might be a great idea for the youth, if you guys have any summer movies, down there would be a great idea, because every time you guys have the summer movies up there, which is wonderful, I think they're wonderful, but the neighbors up there don't, because I get a phone call every time. You know, Brandy, really, we work at nighttime, you know, you visit, people are in this thing, the lights, but down there, obviously with the stage now, I mean, it's not a thought, because obviously nobody's down there.
Right.
And, I mean, the one house, I mean, they're all for the summer concerts, I sold the house to people I know, a friend, and they're all for the summer concerts, they actually go down to them, and their father does.
And we're gonna have the power there besides.
And when we have the power there, so that may be a thought, you know, not saying you can't do them up there, because, you know, one or two phone calls I get, you know, I hate to say it that way, but it is what it is.
You're busy chasing dogs.
Probably. And by then, probably still won't have anybody, because it ain't after September.
When you guys have movies, what is the backdrop that you project the movie on? That's per screen.
Literally, it's like
It's the white, the white thing that you.
Yeah, but what do you put it on?
It's
One
on
of the
like,
back
it has
shots?
its own like stand.
It
Oh.
does have a stand.
And then the projector itself is always on the back of the gate or just for the.
Okay, all right, so it's not like we've got to build something.
No,
for-
they could put it right, they could do it right up on that stage.
Okay,
Yeah,
We
which would be a great
started
idea.
talking about getting a bigger one because it went so well.
Yeah.
So
And it was a
making
small
it bigger for
Yep.
less congestion.
mm-hmm.
Yep, so.
Well, you
Well,
wouldn't
that's
have any
just a-
congestion down there.
No, it's great.
No.
Yeah.
So that's just a thought, but I think it would work out really good, especially with trying to utilize that park as we should, and continue to utilize it as much as we can. If we got to mow twice a week, we might as well use it, and it's a nice, beautiful spot. Okay, anything else, Pam, on this? No? Okay, number 14. Courtney's not here, you want anything, Brad, on this, or?
Sure, I was hoping to think, but, you know, construction's going on, there's some challenges that we've all learned on some concrete and things of that nature. We'll continue to work with the contractor to resolve those as they come up. You know, it's unforeseen things that, you know, we try to accommodate around, but once you open the ground up, that's what you find sometimes. So we'll continue to work with that and R&D to make sure everything is flowing accordingly and keep it moving forward as best we can. You know, Liz Tedford is working on some additional funding opportunities and changes, so she's in process with that. Any questions I can answer, any issues that
Were they able to go through the intersection?
I'm not sure where that stands as of right
They
now.
were halfway through it.
Were they? I know we had an engineer, they said they were working on it.
Yeah.
I didn't get a chance to get down there early enough to see.
You're still working at 5 after 10, so.
Yeah, they're doing
In the
10
rain.
days.
Yep, they worked all day in the rain. Which was, I mean, sometimes people will see, and this is, you know, you're gonna get calls like a text message. People will see people standing around, but the thing is when they're drilling, they gotta have people at certain ends. And that's why, you know, I had 2 phone calls today, and I hope you're not paying everyone to stand around looking at a hole. Like, you guys, there's reasons for this, you know, it's not just drive by one time and you see 2 people talking, but you're gonna get that any job you have.
9 out of 10 times it's a safety concern.
Well, that's what I told them.
For OSHA, so you've got someone in the pit, you have to have a watchman, watch person.
Well, when they're drilling up there, there's people watching and listening and, you know, looking at cameras and they're like,
Yeah. And there's, you know, vibrations happen, so they have people looking for any issues that show up.
Yeah, at the
And
construction meeting, I'm sorry, at the construction meeting, they received a couple of letters from North Bend Road from the residents saying how great a job they did and being professional and clean and neat and safety-wise all works, so they're doing a really good job. Yeah, they were really happy about that, they needed a pat on the back.
Very good company.
Yeah.
Aside from the normal challenges that any construction job has, I think this year is a little bit more challenging because once people said, oh, COVID is over, quote unquote, you know, there's been a rush of everything from everybody. As you're seeing with construction, everybody's busy, everybody's wanting to get everything front-loaded, so to speak, so they get projects in, products ordered, materials, and it's just backing up a lot of people across the board, so.
You try to get materials.
Yeah, it's everywhere, and it's not just this project, it's every project in really the country, but the Northeast as well. We're seeing it affecting things that, sometimes it's wood, sometimes it's steel, sometimes it's things that you never thought would be a problem.
Construction meeting the other morning, I think they said it was 12-week wait on the pipes.
Depends on pipe. We had another project where valves at one point were, I got 100 of them in stock, and now you can't get a single one because the production facilities are behind now because it was demand just shot up through once everybody once the cases started to go down. People got vaccinated.
West Riley for Saturday, 6 months to get a truck right now. And no
Yeah.
chips.
Yep.
No chips
Yep.
at all.
So-
And their parking lot had 3 cars in the whole parking lot, which is unreal.
Yeah, so it's a challenge for every community and all of us that, it's like trying to drink from a fire hydrant at the beginning of a project where it's usually, you kind of start off a little slow and you can take it in. This is full on, take as much as you can and deal with it. So, been some challenges, there still will be, and we're trying to work through them as best we can and communicate with the board and the team. And if there's any issues, do not hesitate to either, call me, Greg, or Mike, on any of us, so we can make sure we just resolve it and move forward.
Anything else for Brad and all on this?
Not for Brad, but Reichenberg's second payment request is in your packet.
14 or 15.
And it just needs to be reviewed quick, like obviously Mike Metcalf and Greg and everybody's gone through it. So they just need the board's blessing before it gets turned in tomorrow.
So we can look at it after the meeting, right? We don't need to approve it tonight, it's just we gotta look over, review it, right? Or do you want to approve it now? Or, I don't know. If there's nothing on here for approval, you want us to approve it though? Or just say okay after? Or
You have to sign it. Ed.
For me, I know it's a lot of money, but if Mike Metcalf puts his name on it, it's up to you guys. I mean, we can go up through it for me.
Just to kind of give some background on these pay apps, and these are unit price and line items, we can go through them line by line with the contractor. And we review it and make sure our field representative, that they actually put the work in, so they're not trying to front load a lot of materials or labor with the work having to be done. Right? So that's a game contractors play. We try to verify everything that's on that pay app. That's what Mike signs off on.
You know, it's a lot of money.
Yeah, I'll give you permission, I'll make a motion for Brandy to sign it. You need me to motion.
And I'll second it because I think Mike really scrutinizes this pretty well, and you all.
And the whole AES group, for sure.
This would go through RD, who will also scrutinize it.
Right.
And if they're not happy, regardless of who signs it,
You're not.
they're not gonna until they're happy.
Right.
And we'll make sure they're happy.
It's not gonna reach Pam, then.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
That's what, anything with RD, everything has to be finally approved by them, and they're the final sign off, and they have to accept it as well.
Yeah, they have to.
Yeah.
They have to.
So, I mean,
Because it's their funding through them.
right. I mean, I'm comfortable.
So I got a motion from Craig and a second from Jim. Any more discussion? No, Rick, anyone? Good to go? So, should be a roll call? Yeah, should be a roll call.
Mr. Douglas?
Yes.
Mr. Barber?
Yes.
Mr. Bruno?
Yes.
Mr. Irwin?
Yes.
Mr. McDonald?
Yes.
Hey, I'm gonna get him off the grid.
Okay. Number 15, other business already. Rick?
No, we covered it, what you and I did. We went down and looked. Indian Bay Marina, I went down there for dinner with my wife and brother-in-law, sister-in-law, and they put a awning on the restaurant down there. Otter Creek Awnings did it from Vermont. What they did around the outside of that building was phenomenal. It dressed it up 100%. I told Randy, I said, what we've got going down at the park, I got a vision of what I'd like it to look like. These guys did this on the outside of this building. If we can get a price, not this year, but next year, and have it somewhere that we can afford it, it's phenomenal what they did. It's really nice. And the problem is, the awning aspect of it is, you can put it up and take it down. We can't have a permanent structure down there. So this is something that we have to look at. So we can have the rec department, Courtney and the boys put it up in the spring and take it down in the fall and put it away. So it's a really nice looking structure.
I was going to ask you that because I knew you couldn't put nothing on that.
I'm gonna see answer the dog thing, if they found the owner, so.
Well,
city
The
manager.
price would be.
Got a picture of the dog,
outside
in
the building.
the front seat of the car.
But that's a long way from where we're.
Disregard, we're selling the owners.
And sure, we'll have to go through Foster's and everybody else, so that, you know, not just the one company, have to go through a couple of them.
Yeah.
Exactly. But I wanted you guys to look at, you took pictures of it, I wanted you guys to see what they did, because that's exactly, everything's aluminum, and they hooked it to their building and they screwed it to the deck. My thought was we could put a channel on the deck and pin it. So you just take the pins out, collapse the aluminum poles, or take them and bundle them up, take the awning down, fold it up, and put it away for the winter.
Yep. Let me tell you, it looks nice. It looks real nice.
Where is this at?
Down in Indian Bay Marina.
Yes.
And the food that are in there, they had dinner there. It was awesome. He said, I was gonna go down Saturday and someone else came up, but we were gonna get our bus back there before the border opens. Anything else? Right.
That's it, I'm good.
Jim? Good. Diane?
Being the voucher bill Nazi that I am, I always watch if anything fluctuates. And so I'm very happily to share with everyone that the LED lights are working, because the bill was approximately $800 less this month, and the LED was the prior month. So what was paid for the LEDs, we will have the money back, and this Nazi will watch it, 3 more months.
3 months.
It'll be 4 months total.
What do you think of that over the
About
lifetime?
4 months total, it will be paid back. So by the October bill, no, the September bill, $800 ahead.
Okay. And that's every
So,
month.
like I said, I'm the Nazi, so, I mean.
No, they said, I mean, they did say they were gonna
They did,
save
they
tons of
improved
money.
it. I mean, when I-
Anything about the $2,700 that we paid to have this done, it was great. I mean, there was things 2 years down the road that was a little different worded about the money of it, how much it cost, and then the one lady from Nicely called me up last summer and said, hey, this is all it is. I'm like, okay, that's different than a couple years ago, but from a different company that was making money off of grants. Yep.
That's crazy.
So, it was awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
No,
I'm looking forward to making use of that park down there.
I know I'm gonna be down there. Rick, I think if he can get down there that weekend, maybe not. I know I will be. If anyone else can join me that
I
weekend.
should be able
So
to.
Rick and I are gonna bring dogs, right?
I got a new dog in Chelsea, I think. She just picked up one for me. Took care of him, so I'm gonna call her after we're done. But no, if anyone can get down there that first weekend, obviously there will be, some things here and there, but I would definitely be down there when the vendors get down there to make sure they're, I mean, like I said, they want it to work more than anyone too. We just, obviously we gotta work it out, and
What's the vendor stuff?
the vendor's 2 to 6. 2 to 6, and I'm gonna guess the food trucks will stay extra, and they thought the same thing. It would be no reason not to. We got a food truck, burgers, fries, cheeseburgers, drinks. We got a coffee truck that's gonna be down there, and then the ice cream truck. They're lining up at least in August, and they're gonna try to line up at least 1 or 2 of the ice cream trucks. That way, it's not just only you can be down here. So there's a couple ice cream trucks around town.
Brewery comes in after 8.
I tell you laugh about that. I'm shocked that town of Wilmington did something with alcohol in their park, town park. I have a copy of their flyer, and I'm shocked they can get away with that kind of thing in a town. I don't know. They must have got a good license or someone knows somebody.
What are your thoughts on
What are we talking about?
that? Serving alcohol.
Don't be caught.
It's weird.
That's usually my advice.
No one has a concert with alcohol.
Well, I think you could do it if you have somebody that's got a liquor license, like if you have a restaurant come in and do it that night with their liquor license. Certain liquor licenses are based on the owner, not the address.
Yeah, it's
You could do it- You could have.
I'm not suggesting it right now. Let's start off and.
There's a lot of issues.
No, it's doable. I mean, you have somebody else use their liquor license as their liability. You just lock the wholesale.
It's not catering, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a picture of their flyer. I'm like, wow, I didn't
How
know you
many
could do that at
years
Town Park.
of law school did that take?
But,
Well, that brings a whole other host of issues, damages.
let's just worry about parking instead of alcohol. Because alcohol and parking don't go along. So,
And then everybody's got to have their insurance too, right?
yes.
It's
Well, like I
hard.
said, we do have a food truck down there. We got the coffee, a young girl that's doing coffee with a trailer. She's gonna be down there.
So good.
Yes,
and
it
it's
is.
so
Their
good.
cupcakes will change your life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trust me.
Oh, yeah.
And they're working on more, and some of that's gonna grow, obviously, so.
She said, when we talked to them, there's 23 vendors at this time. They got 26 vendors coming in after that, 27 the time after that. So, the word is getting out there that they're gonna be down there, and they really want everything to jive with the concert and the farmer's market at the same time.
And the thing is, like me and Rick were talking, and they were talking, I mean, this more me and Rick on this part, from 2 to 4 o'clock, they're gonna get the rush of people, and then, gradually it will fade out. They will get overflow from the concert. When people park for the concert, they'll probably walk over or go down a half an hour early. That'd be, so after, it'll help hand in hand. It just, we gotta get the flow going one way, and we get the flow coming in, and
If you guys could just stress to the vendors and everybody there that at 6 o'clock, they're gonna start playing.
oh yeah.
And you don't want it to be, to me, it's kind of rude if it's really noisy over here and the band's trying to play at the same time.
Yeah.
Pam, they're gonna be so far away
I
that
hope so.
I
Oh,
don't
there's
think
4 acres down there. There's a lot of.
there's not gonna be an issue with noise.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they will be flowing out. They said by 10 after 6, they have, they should be all packed up and flown out. Like I said, the food trucks, they're probably gonna stay extra. And I don't blame them. I would too. I honestly, I'd like to have food down there when the
Yeah.
concert's going on. I don't see why not.
That's great.
If they stay, that's up to them.
How close the food truck's gonna be to the stage? Because the only
Not
problem
even.
there, the generator noise is the only thing I worry about.
Not even close. Food trucks on this side over towards the dog park, way over by the dog park. The concert thing is over to the right of the walking trail as you're going into the right as you go up. They're not close. Yeah. We're gonna get a couple extra porta potties down there. We have 1 now. I told Courtney we'd like to have 3 total, so 2 more. We gotta figure out about picnic tables. There's only 3 down there. There's 2 to the right. There's one underneath the big poplar trees, the big monster trees down there. We would like to get more down there.
Question for you guys, how, do you recollect how many are underneath the pavilion over at the park? There was a pile of them.
Yeah,
At least they,
at least they.
Do you think they're all being utilized?
I don't know.
well, the social
Next
distancing.
next week or so, or like this week coming, if you guys could take a peek and see if they're really being utilized that much. If we can't grab a couple, 2 or 3, if we're down in the park.
Yeah, isn't there one that
You don't have to buy the material.
No, I mean.
No, you don't wanna buy material to build them.
We,
It's not in between those trees.
Yeah.
we went
That seems
over and
probably
took
most-
5 or 6 of them.
Yeah.
I can put them on the big trailer, we can move them. And when we're all done, we can bring them back. That's not a big deal. So we got more picnic tables there.
That was, I feel like for coaches meetings,
Right.
Let us know when you guys take a look this week. I mean, we got until the end of the month, and it only takes, an hour to take them over if we can grab any.
Okay.
We went down to Sullivan last night and there's none there at all.
Yeah.
Me and Rick went down to see it, there's none at Sullivan at all. Because they're gonna try to grab from there because that's less used. Okay.
Did you send us an email about Maddie's?
About Babby's,
Maddie's Farm Museum?
was I supposed
You
to?
texted.
Oh, text you guys.
Yeah, is there a grand opening Saturday?
It's this weekend. coming.
This week,
Yep.
this Saturday.
Yeah, I sent you guys a text on it.
Are you guys going? I just wanted to make sure.
I'm gonna go.
Okay.
I'm gonna go. I don't know if anyone else is going. You're camping. Yeah, you said you're camping.
Yeah.
But they're opening for the year. It's not their grand opening, but they're opening for the year. They said if anyone could be there, to go down. If you can, if you can't, I'm gonna go.
All right.
I think John Ryan just put a thing on his Gazette too that about him too. Anything else?
Are you gonna milk the cow?
No, we're gonna see a farmer milk and
Pete Glasgow and Janet Dupree milk the cow, and you're a supervisor, you got a contest going on.
I'm gonna probably be chasing a dog by then. Don't worry about it.
One milk in the cow, one kiss in the cow.
Anything else?
Good.
Bob?
Thank you for hiring Christine in the office, it's working out well. There's a lot to grasp, but she's knowledgeable and willing and wants to jump right in, so that's been great. That's it, that's all I got. Thank you.
A lot of building projects showing up.
There's quite a bit going on, quite a few new houses, surprisingly, and I didn't know what, with COVID, I didn't think building costs, but no, it's
Expensive
pretty
house.
strong. Yep.
See a lot going on around town. It's amazing. You hear that, man?
Great. Any more from Army Corps? So, actually, Mike can speak on that because he got to speak to Mr. Connell from the Army Corps of Engineers last week. I think you folks, I discussed it at the last meeting, they're done with the DEC.
Yep.
They're okay with the SWIP. And Mike met with John Connell over another project, and Mike mentioned, hey, how are we with Orchard View? And he said they're very close. And
That's good.
so, pending their sign off, Dean will come back to, and AEDA will come back to the planning board, and Bill will have what he needs to get started, and let's hope he gets started.
Yes, we all want him to get started.
No.
Let's hope he does it right.
What's that? What's
Hope
that?
he does it right,
Yeah, right.
so we don't go through this again.
Well, I don't think he wants to have, yeah. Well,
John, thank you, Bob.
Yep, thank you.
Thanks, Bob. Mike?
Okay, I did meet with John Connell last week. For telegraph by Mr. Bag's house. Actually, John was in a good mood. So let's chalk it up. There was a discrepancy on the permit process of a wetlands area, which would be Mr. Bag's side yard. And I explained to him this is just for a permit, or actually for the paperwork for the Bridge New York culvert being that. If this didn't go through, the project probably wouldn't happen. But anyway, he had a map with this nice blue stream going through it from the side yard of Sullivan. So we walked it, and like, what it come down to is there's where Mr. Bags used to go through the woods. That's all grown in, there's a culvert, that's what they're calling the stream. It's almost as dry as his floor, but you gotta play the game with the Army. John was a good natured, I did talk to him about Washington. Said that they are pretty well got everything. I don't think he's happy, it's taking this long. He never really had to deal with it. But I did talk to him, if we did not get the grants, because we got 3 of them for the one that's gonna be a bridge up the road, and you get the 6-foot culvert, and then you get the 180 feet by 10-foot culvert that's all we got in for Bridge, New York. Those are all filed under a nationwide permit. That permit for those actually started when we first applied for a culvert grant in 2017. They're good for 5 years, so they're done next summer sometime. So I said, would we have to go through all this again with the Army Corps? He said he really doesn't know that answer because that comes down from federal government. He said most of the time they just tweak it, they don't usually rewrite the book, but until it comes out, we won't know. So my thing is, and I said this before, we don't get the grant. I think we got to do everything next year because number one, time-wise, they're not going to stay together. You know, we're going to be playing Russian roulette. That's pretty much all we got on that. We won't know until November. I had talked to Pam. We can't even if we get the permit, we can't pre-order and pay for the box culverts, try to save a little cost, not have to front so much money when we go for a bond, because Bridge, New York won't let you do it that way. So we can't do that. I did have a county meeting last week. There was a culvert vendor there. Plastic culvert has gone up 7%, galvanized 11%, box culvert, which is concrete, 17%. If you remember right, the estimate for the Bridge, New York, for the one we're going to turn over to the county was like $998,000. When you do the math, the 17%, you're going to be beyond the $1 million threshold. That's the max. That's pretty much all I got in there, and I know Brandy talked about pickups. See, I've been fooling around in mine. The brake module has gone in my dump truck. It's been at night auto since the 25th of May. They got an email finally Wednesday from GM. They would have the part Friday, and I should have the truck this week. Friday night, I got a call from camp, or not camp, because I had a wedding, I was home. That part is back ordered until November 2021. So they're going to take one. They wanted to know if I take one out of a wrecked truck, they'll give me a 3-year warranty. I said, yeah, I can't let a town truck set for till November because if that brain module is like the computers. It controls your transmission, it controls the brakes, it controls the steering. You got to have it. All 3 Christmas tree lights are on, and I'm going to Niagara Falls for a state meeting here next 3 weeks or so. We got to get it fixed, and I still got to have tires and wrenches for it. But I just priced the steel rims like they're over $200 a piece. Tires are $1,000, $1,200. It's unpacked. And at that wedding, that's how much stuff got on. I was talking to a vendor that sells modular homes. Last summer, during the whole pandemic, the modular home only went up between $10,000 and $15,000. This summer, the same modular homes, a minimum, are gone up $56,000. And he point blank looked at me and said, it's corporate greed. It's not because of lack of material, it's corporate greed playing the system. So that's where we are. So I'm hoping next week I got my town truck back.
Good luck.
But that's pretty much all we got. We did try the paver Thursday in Town Hall Sable. We ran it without the electronics. We had some kinks, but it came out actually pretty good for us not knowing how everything worked. We did, when we made the deal with the paver, we were getting buckle for 2 days, but I did not want to waste it on a parking lot. Have his knowledge. We want to use that. His knowledge for roles with electronics and all that. So we got one issue with an auger that it won't stay on all the time. You almost got to run it, but it's kind of hard if you're doing a seam and you got to watch it. We tried to get another sensor, like $1,600 to replace it. So we ordered it to come out of Tennessee. So I had Boyd call back. I said, well, because it's obsolete now. So I said, why don't we call back and get another one? We got a spare for another. I'll fund it because all tables pretty much spent everything. So call back the same guy that's got both of them will not sell us a second. There's only 4 of them in the United States. He's got two, their first sale, 1,600 a piece sitting on the shelf, but he only sells one for whatever reason. I don't know.
He won't sell you two.
He will not sell two. There's one in Canada, or actually, there's another one in Switzerland, and then there's another one out west somewhere.
Have another town buy it for you. And
Well, that's where we were thinking of trying to go around that. Boyd was willing to go with the truck tonight, go to Tennessee, he grab it, but he won't sell it.
And that kind of thing, Mike, what you're explaining is happening everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, I worked for Heinz Electric for 28 years, I still work part-time there only. But the thing is, I order everything there. Every company we order from, every single company, they put us on a fourth of what we did last year per month. That's all we can order, no matter what it is. You have $900 here, $1,200 here. We're seeing things 6 to 9 months back ordered. We can't even get PVC nail on plastic boxes, outlets, receptacles, wire. It's everywhere, and no matter what it
And
is.
it trickles in,
Yeah.
20
And
different.
then Arlington, a big company, Arlington, they have everything in stock. They're telling us 8 to 12 weeks to even ship it. Just to ship it.
Yeah.
And they haven't.
We buy our culverts
It's
from
crazy.
East Supply, and it's state
It's
contract.
only getting worse.
I had a 100-foot run we needed, and then it would give me a couple of spares. So I called Mark down there. He had to get it come out of Albany, through the state contract, direct from the factory, because BP Supply, and they got several stores in Syracuse and all over, are allowed one culvert a month on Down Mill Road. So
It's crazy.
that's what's happening. That's what's driving everything up.
You keep practicing putting tar down, and I'll say it till you get it right, then you come back to Brandon Hollow.
Yeah.
Anything else, Mike?
Just we're gonna haul for, well, we were supposed to today, Black Brook for the rain. We're gonna try to go tomorrow and Wednesday. Then the following week, we're gonna haul millings in the city and River Street. Then all Sables, paving, some road up in the back. And we're trying to schedule, I've been waiting for a call. Apparently whoever ran as a salesman for the new plant, they let him go. I won't get into the issues. We're playing phone gas, trying to set us up. But it's almost to the point, I don't want to be paving when it's 90. I just assume if I have to, we'll wait till fall. We'll have all the bucks out of the paper to be on off table. And so, but it does work good. It does a nice job. Tyler and Russell in the back for never running that kind. They did a pretty good job. So, but we'll figure it out.
Good. Anything else?
Date on the new machine,
What's that?
the date on the new machine?
Last when I talked to the salesman, it was supposed to be in the port today, if it's still on time. And then it's going to be shipped up to Young Cat here in Richmond. They figure a couple weeks to do what they got to do, and we should have it by the 28th or so. I can reach out to him tomorrow and see if we're still kind of on that schedule, because like I said,
There's nothing on time.
And
There's nothing.
if it needs a tip or something like that, that can be, it could delay it.
Anything else? Okay.
Kind of glad Courtney's not here tonight after all that.
Yeah, I think you took up for Courtney.
I'm glad to give it back to him.
Thanks. Thanks. Anyone else, other business before we move on? Okay. Number 16, public comments on agenda items only. Anyone? Okay. Not, we need a, number 17, resolution discussion. Need a motion and a second to pay the bills.
I'll make it.
Rick made a motion,
Second.
second by Craig Bruno. Resolution, Diane.
A resolution authorizing the post-audit payment of certain claims, bills, and invoices of the town, whereas the town board has reviewed and audited on claims, bills, and invoices for services rendered and goods provided to the town in June 2021 from the town approved vouchers in May 2021, 202100603 through and including 202100686, abstract dated June 10th, 2021, for the dollar amount totaling $497,996.29. Of that, $425,600 $631.10 was wired, credit cards and prepaid, and $72,365.19 is remaining to be paid. And whereas the town board finds said claims, bills, and invoices to be acceptable in form and reasonable in amount, now therefore be it resolved that payment of the aforementioned claims, bills, and invoices is approved, and the supervisor be and hereby is authorized to make such payment, and be it further resolved that this resolution shall take effect immediately. Mr. Barber?
Yes.
Mr. Bruno?
Yes.
Mr. Earl?
Yes.
Mr. Douglas?
Yes.
Mr. McDaniel?
Yes. Need a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Yeah.
Jim Douglas,
Second.
second by Craig Bruno. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.